machine. I remember way back, you ain't have no swag. You did a little research, now you got a moon bag. Now you got a new walk, now you got new swag. You did a little research, now you got a moon bag. Well, let me show you what the moon bag's like. You take them gains when it gets that high. I mean, the market may dip for a little bit.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to the juicy part of the steak, I want to give a huge shout out to my sponsors, Lumi Wealth, using algorithms to make investing easier and more profitable. Here we go.
And tomorrow, also want to announce that Brad's in the house. Brad, we spoke a lot about Ripple yesterday, and we've got also Sadvik from Circle as well on stage. Would love your take on what's going on, man.
Hey, GM.
I'll go Brad first. Go ahead, Brad.
Okay. Well, thanks for letting me join in. I'm a crasher and just mostly a listener here. I think, like a lot of people, I was maybe surprised. You know, I think there's been a lot of noise in the industry about FTX and Alameda, but still was quite surprised how quickly things unfolded. So, you know, hard to know what are all the facts right now, at least for me. And going along, I think it's shit for the industry for sure. I did speak to Sam last Wednesday, I guess, in the kind of like, hey, how can the industry help? The one thing I'll say about that is just some of the things that were being tweeted and some of the things he said on the phone didn't match, which made me feel like kind of using Elon Musk. My kind of was going on. But anyway, I don't have any great, brilliant insights. I think that the one big unknown that I think we should always be watching for and careful about is it clearly will be a call to action for segments of regulators who are going to say that, like, this is what's wrong with crypto, when in reality, this isn't a crypto-specific problem. And in fact, as I think people here have, or people on Twitter anyway, have commented, you know, the SEC was actively meeting with Sam, and you know, in some ways, it really isn't that dissimilar than the
Let him know, Brad.
SEC, you know, spending all their resources on things that aren't a problem and completely missing the Bernie Madoffs, and in this case, you know, what appears to or is alleged to be pretty egregious. And I think the likelihood is, unfortunately, Sam's getting up in jail, or what some say, fortunately, but whatever.
Hey, Brad, do you want to talk about the SEC case? Give us an update.
Sure. I mean, you know, everything that people are kind of talking about, I think it's pretty up to date. You know, the motions for summary judgment will be fully briefed by the end of November. And, you know, then it's before the judge. I remain, the library case, I think people are saying various comparisons. And just, it doesn't really compare both in terms of their legal strategy and the facts. There's a whole bunch of things that, you know, are just very, very different about them. And so, you know, I think that gave the SEC something to crow about. I will also say, and you know, maybe there's people on this listening right now. I mean, to get 14 amicus briefs in support at a district court level, like, it's unheard of. We were trying to find, it might actually be unprecedented. But you know, when this whole shit show started with the SEC, you know, I think I tweeted out, you know, in December of 2020 that this was an attack on the whole industry and not just an attack on Ripple. And I think, you know, candidly, a lot of people called bullshit. Like, that's not true. And I think it's been really refreshing to see the industry kind of come around to understand, like,
there we go,
how important it is. And so I could give a thanks to all those out there that have been supportive and kind of seen that come around.
Hey, Brad, how do you mark XRP on Ripple Labs' balance sheet? Is it market?
Zero.
You mark it zero.
It's zero. It's not on our balance sheet.
Is that what you think how it should be done with all these companies?
I don't know. I mean, like, again, facts and circumstances, and you know, I don't want to opine on how other people should do it. You know, Ripple has no debt. For all intents and purposes, we've never had any debt. We've got $1 billion of cash. You know,
so who owns the XRP on Treasury for Ripple Labs? Which entity owns the XRP?
Well, that you have on the Treasury? Yeah. Ripple Labs, the parent company. All the things I just said with regard to Ripple Labs, the parent. So, you know, I mean, where it sits in a particular subsidiary or something like that for structural reasons, is kind of irrelevant for that purpose. But
does it get factored into your equity value when raising finance, the number of XRP on the balance sheet?
Well, we haven't raised. I mean, that's not a question for me to answer, right? Because I'm not the investor, it's just somebody coming in to invest in Ripple would make a determination on all the assets that Ripple has. We have a rapidly growing business. We own a bunch of cash. We've invested over $500 million in over 60 companies across the crypto space. Some XRP related, some having nothing to do with XRP. I'll let others opine on that. We haven't raised money in a long time. The last private money we raised was at a $10 billion valuation in 2019, I think. I think that's right.
Yeah, full disclosure, I'm actually one of your shareholders. But
Okay.
A long time ago.
Okay, Simon.
The XRP on the company balance sheet across the whole group is marked at 0. It doesn't factor in. How do you account that asset?
Well,
because you do sell a lot of those XRP, right? They sold them for the market.
We sell some only to customers. If you're paying close attention, we repurchase the vast majority of what we sell. And when we sell it, then it's marked at the price it's sold. That's revenue from an accounting point of view. But look, I think for me, as I just step back and look at what's going on in the industry, Ripple has always taken a very, very, very transparent view. I mean, I don't know when we started doing a quarterly XRP markets report, 5-6 years ago. And I think whether it's FTX, whether it's, a whole bunch of other examples, I think all of us could work on transparency and,
a little louder for the people in the back. Transparency.
Some of the haters and some of the FUD that gets spread around is, don't live in glass houses, right? Some of the stuff I see said in contrast, where I think even talking about this openly, about how much XRP we have sold to customers, how much is repurchased, we put it all out there, like it's all transparent. And
the market report is out there, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody can see it.
That is because I think it's the right way to run a business.
And what percentage of the revenue is XRP sales?
It's a significant percentage. I don't know that we've ever publicly broken that out. Again, the point I would make, just because the nature of the question is, we repurchased the vast majority of XRP. So this is not we're very long-term bullish on XRP. This is not hey, let's sell as much XRP as fast as we can. It's almost, the opposite. But
repurchasing, what's the purpose of that? Because isn't that, would that cause some market manipulation issues?
No, well, I mean, I guess I don't know. The conversation has gone from hey, how do we make the industry more healthy to could that be market manipulation?
No, wait,
sorry, Brad. I don't know what the fuck I'm literally calling in, being totally transparent about exactly what we're doing. Everything I just said, we've been public about it. It's in our XRP markets report. But the point I was trying to make, whether we look at
question,
there was really nothing tough about the question at all.
Right, we've asked just to give you first hats off for coming on stage and just asking the tough questions, but there
wasn't nothing tough about it.
No, I don't even view it as tough questions. My point is, you can go read that, right? Like,
hello, Maxis.
I'm not. You don't need me to even I didn't read our XRP markets report, so I can't cite the exact data. But frankly, it was Sunday morning. I was paying attention to Twitter and I'll listen in. So anyway, look, I think what has gone on in transparency helps everybody. Transparency is our friend, and that is true. It has been at the core of blockchain technologies, and I think there's just a lot of companies that have acted, kind of not consistent with that. And I think
I've got one more question quickly for you.
Sorry, one more. What advice would you give to the companies that have large token value on their balance sheet? How do you think they should manage selling those tokens without causing issues when they're trading against their consumers or manipulating prices? How do we stop that?
Transparency. Look, I mean,
transparency.
There's a kind of well retweeted clip of me on stage with Joe Lubin at the World Economic Forum a few years ago, and frankly, Joe's going after me about some of the same questions you're asking me, and I said, wait a minute, Joe, how much ETH does Consensus own?
Ooh.
He wouldn't answer.
Ooh.
How much ETH has Consensus sold? He wouldn't answer.
Ooh.
So look, transparency is our friend. And I think I would challenge the whole industry just to be more transparent.
Night, Brad out here dropping bombs on y'all.
I think
night.
or you're a project like library that just has one. You are the token. I think transparency is our friend.
Crickets.
Brad, I wonder if you would be as transparent if you weren't regulated in the.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to listen to the sophistication of Rand Neuner asking Brad this dumbass question.
I think transparency is our friend.
Brad, I wonder if you would be as transparent if you weren't regulated in the United States.
Wait for it.
I think it's all good and well to say, transparency is our friend. When you're living in a jurisdiction where, if you're not transparent, then that could count against you. But the truth is that, many of these token companies are established in jurisdictions that aren't very regulated. In the BVIs, in the Canary, I don't know, all these little islands. How much of that is because you're forced to, and how much of that is because you think it's the right thing to do?
Here it goes.
Well, look, we're a private company. We're not forced to do. When I talk about the XRP markets report, again, we started that. I think it was in 2016, maybe 2017. We're not required to do that.
Oh,
we're choosing.
Oh, you chose to do that. Okay.
Because we embrace this is the right way to run a business.
Hello, sit down, Randy.
And the question I have for you, Brad, I couldn't unmute earlier, and I've asked this for every person we consider to be a leader in the space. We have a lot of regulators listening. We could have a notable regulator as a special guest tomorrow. What would be your message to them, considering all the eyes on crypto at the moment?
Well, I guess my first word, let's make sure we understand what problem we're trying to solve. And I think some things are getting conflated. So the problem that Ripple has been focused on for the industry, really because of the SEC's actions, has been, let's be clear about what is a security, what is a currency. Let's make sure that different parts of the U.S. government aren't contradicting themselves. Other countries have led the way on that. As I said earlier, I worry that the FTX drama and, just general shit show will draw, it'll be used kind of against the industry in a way. It's like, no. I mean, this isn't that different than a Bernie Madoff situation in some ways.
The people.
I guess allegedly, I don't know the facts, and I don't really think I have much proprietary information that people on this call don't already have. So, my first thing would just be, let's just be clear about what problem are we trying to solve. And if in fact FTX US is solvent, as SBF has tweeted, maybe actually US regulations worked in this situation. And it's, other geographies that need to be more aware of their financial regulations.
Yeah, Brad, you may not have seen it. FTX US is in Chapter 11 now.
Oh, I did not see that.
Oh.
Sorry.
Cause it's the standard in this bitch. XRP. I went to YouTube University, and now they mocking me with no degree. We saying by the swift, keep it walking. Respect your elders in these bushes. Bitcoin is talking.
You don't have to be rich to be taking advantage of this. This was the beginning of the greatest transformation of wealth the world has ever fucking seen since World War II.
Blockchain. We talking about an intellectual choo-choo train. It's DLT up in these streets, man. That's why we rip all on that blockchain.